Okay, that seems like a lot, but I know for sure that I will win. I'm so excited to introduce the sponsor of today's video, which is Spa Luxtique. You know how often I tell you that I hope you have so many small reasons to smile in your day, and I tell you to be kind to yourself, and you can be creative in the ways that you do that. For me personally, I love relaxing, but it's something that I try to be purposeful about. So for me, it's not enough to just sit in a bare bathtub, little human soup, and get bored within my own mind. Instead, it is so fun to be able to create a true home spa that makes you feel luxurious and like you can truly take a break from your life. So that's why I love what Spa Luxtique offers, in that they have products that allow you to create your own home spa that smells wonderful and can really take your mind to travel anywhere you want it to go. So for me, they sent their Moonlight Magic bath set, which when you close your eyes and take a deep breath in, smells as if you are in this beautiful lavender field. Think the south of France, maybe you're frolicking, maybe you have a little picnic set up, and you can take that wonderful break just from the comfort of your own bathtub. Moonlight Magic is not their only scent, though it is a favorite of mine. But with all of their options, it gives you the opportunity to turn your self-love and turn your bath time into a true relaxing vacation from life. Lavender as a scent has been shown to relax you, and it's one that I've come to love, especially as I have gotten older and been introduced to more of the stress of life. And with this full bath set, you can clean with the bubble bath, which makes the most bubbles per bubble bath little amount that I have ever experienced, which has been lovely. You can clean, you soften with the body scrub, and then there's also a body oil to really moisturize you afterwards, and keeps that memory of the scent on you even past your bath time. If you've been looking for an affordable way to up the luxury in your life, up your enjoyment, give yourself another reason to smile, or if you're looking for a gift for someone else, hint, mothers don't just have to be celebrated on Mother's Day. You can find this bath set and the variety that Spa Luxtique has to offer in my description below, of course. They give a lot for a great deal, so thank you Spa Luxtique for sponsoring this portion of the video. How perfect is it to begin another unemployed vlog? Spending money! No, hello, welcome. I hope you're doing so well today. Hi, I'm Anna. I currently do not have a job, but catch up on everything that's going on in other videos in the channel. Basically, I quit a job that I was burnt out in, left a toxic work environment, and then in a couple weeks, let's see, less than 2 weeks from right now, I am beginning a new job that I am so super excited about. But it has left me in this little void of time, my unemployment era that you are now joining me in. So a couple fun things going on in this vlog. I'll show you the Target haul just because that's fun. I have jury duty coming up tomorrow. I'm really excited for it. We'll discuss that more later. I do want to talk in this vlog more about the actual healing burnout and like the kind of internal work that's been going on off camera in these past 5 weeks now that I've been without a job, as well as just everything else. Starting with, I finally tried Olipop. I had my first one, I think 2 days ago, and it was the root beer flavor, and it was so good. So I got another one. I haven't drank like actual root beer in quite a long time, but in my head, this tastes exactly like it. Celsius packets. This is dragon fruit lime. Zach's been really enjoying them. We haven't tried this flavor yet, but thought that could be fun. It's a lot cheaper to get them in the packet than to get them in cans. This is exciting in the adult kind of way. So we ran out of fabric softener, and I decided that I wanted to try something different because I think the one that we had been using had been leaving kind of a white residue type thing on the clothes. And so I literally used TikTok as a search engine this morning and typed in, you know, like best fabric softeners, and saw this girl that was talking about how she always gets complimented for how good her laundry smells and this is like the best of her, whatever. So it came from the inspiration of getting fabric softener, but then instead I got a scent booster. But Downy Light Ocean Mist scent booster, she said is amazing. And then she also had a certain detergent that she uses, but we're not out of detergent yet, so I didn't get that too. But I very much love things that smell good, so let's, ooh, that, oh, that does smell really good. Big loves for that. Toothpaste, we ran out. I've been using this toothpaste for forever. I got e.l.f. Soap Brow. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, or kind of what goes on with it. I think that it's what kind of just like keeps your eyebrows up. And honestly, my eyebrow hairs like naturally just go like straight horizontal pretty much. And so I always find myself like brushing them upwards in the morning. So we'll see if I like this. Don't know when I'm gonna try it. Maybe tomorrow for jury duty, I'll try it. I have a blue version of this shirt that I like, so I got the green version of it. I just finished my run and I did 32 minutes with no walk breaks, which is crazy because my first run was last Thursday and now it's Wednesday. So it's literally been less than a week and I already see so much improvement, which is so fun. And I know it's not always going to be like that, but also it's cool that it is for now. It definitely wasn't fast. It was still an average, I think, of 11 minutes, 55 seconds. And my feet definitely hurt as well, but I kept moving for the entire time, which is a huge win. I feel like my cheeks stay pink for extended amounts of times after runs. So as I mentioned, I did want to discuss a little bit while I'm putting on my lotion how my healing from burnout process has been going. Also, I'm not like a professional expert in burnout. Like anytime I've been talking about burnout, it's more from like a personal experience type of lens instead of like a social worker discussing burnout type of lens. For me though, at the last day of my job, I genuinely could not imagine myself ever working a day again, which is ridiculous to say at 23 years old. But I was just filled with this sense of dread of thinking of going to any job ever again because I was having such a tough time with the one that I was at. And it was like, logically I knew there have to be things that I enjoy in this world. But at that time I couldn't think of really anything that I would like spend my time wanting to do. So the steps that I've kind of taken to try to get better and to help that burnout out, one was quit my job, which is a privileged thing to be able to do and was also very necessary for me at the time. Two, in my healing process, I went on a fun trip that I had been really looking forward to. And it was kind of just coincidental that it happened at that time, but doing something fun and meeting new people helped me realize that I could have fun and I could feel happy. But I definitely feel very glad for the timing of that. Something though was that on that Colombia trip, I was so tired the entire time. And this is something that, again, professionally, I don't know what the research is, but I hear colloquially people talk about how coming out of a traumatic, in the sense of like taking a toll on you type of experience, that your body can finally rest and just like turn off and not be on high alert all the time. And I don't know if that played into it, but I was exhausted for, I mean, honestly still now, but for weeks on end. I've really tried to balance putting some pressure on myself of doing things that I enjoy, being like, okay, make the most this time, make the most this time. And then I've also had to rein that back in a little bit and acknowledging like, it's okay if I just like lay around and don't do too much in a day. I've been trying to reframe a mindset to think of like what I do in a day instead of, oh, I didn't do anything. Think like, I rested today, I read today, I fed myself 3 meals today, I went on a walk today, like thinking of the things that I did do. And honestly, these couple of weeks haven't been perfect happy-go-lucky. I wish that they were. Like I wish that this was the best time of my life, because like when else will I get to just do nothing for several weeks on end? But the past couple of weeks I have started getting kind of bored, which honestly I see as a huge win, because remember how I said at the end of March I couldn't see myself finding joy in anything ever again as far as work goes. And so these past couple of weeks, while it hasn't been comfortable to feel bored and to feel disconnected necessarily, I'm trying to hold deep onto those feelings because it proves to me that I need to have a purpose outside of myself. I think lots of times whenever we talk about the need for self-care and preventing burnout, a lot of it is so individual focused, because that is important. Like it is important to put yourself first and to make decisions that are good to you, be kind to yourself. But also technically the past couple of weeks I've been living an entirely self-serving life, just like waking up in the morning doing whatever I want to in a day, whether that's sitting around or working out or reading a book, and it's not fulfilling and it's not going to be fulfilling, which I'm so glad that I am feeling this way, even though it's not comfortable, because like I said, it shows me that I need to have something outside of myself, and that doesn't have to be work. That's like step 2 of I guess like the self-change I'm trying to work on, is I'm obviously trying to heal burnout, but then I'm also trying to find purpose in myself that's not in my profession, not in my job, which is hard. And obviously like it's going to be harder, I think, once I begin my new job, because work can be a place where you enjoy doing what you're doing, or at least enjoy the people that are around, or it at least pays you. But trying to have things that are entirely separate from it, I'm really realizing the need for. I think when I was working in jail and when I was feeling that entire just like overwhelming burnout, granted I didn't have much choice because I didn't have much perspective outside of this, but even on my off days, every activity that I did, every like rest that I had in my head, it was like I need to rest so that I will be able to go back to work. So even though it's like, okay, cool, I could sit and listen to an audiobook and play Mario Kart, I was like in my head I was doing that so that I could be at a place that was fine enough to be able to go to work, or I was recovering from work. Like it still was very work centered and work focused. So I don't know how I'm going to maintain trying to find a purpose outside of work whenever I start a new job, but I think it is nice to have kind of a head start, like whether it is running, my new goal, or even to an extent YouTube, like not entirely purely, because obviously this is about social work too, so it's not like separate from that, but it is purpose outside of my like paid W-2 profession, or if it's the relationships around me, like the people around me. I think really honing in on that, okay, I have purpose that is outside of myself and that is outside of my profession, is what my ultimate goal is going to be going forward, and is a goal I didn't even know to have until I had this time off. So what is good is that I have changed a lot as far as mindset goes, and that I am to a point where I'm looking forward to when I start my new job, which, like I said a couple of times now, I was nowhere near that whenever I left my last job. Like, I'm so glad that I had space in between them so that I can show up to my new one being a much better version of myself, because I'm excited to go into it and I have a little spark inside me instead of just feeling dead inside. But with that, I'm going to really try to focus in on things that literally have nothing to do with Anna Scholl LMSW, you know, which this is one of them. Like, even though, like I said, I talk about social work is not my employment, but so are the little goals that I have for myself, whether it is solo dates, whether it is trying to meet new friends in Atlanta, pouring into my relationship with Zach, running, or like other fitness things going on, reading, like whatever it may be. I don't know if that's helpful to anyone, but it does kind of sum up, I feel like, what I couldn't put into words necessarily until I had a few weeks under my belt of being unemployed. All that to say, I am doing like a whole lot better now than I was whenever I quit my job and whenever I left my job and whenever I was in Colombia and whenever I came back from Colombia. I feel a lot more hopeful. I feel a lot more energetic, a lot more lively, a lot more like myself. And I've been trying to do a healthy amount of self-reflection. Well, not like overdoing the self-reflection, because I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't have to be that deep. Also, I don't remember at what point in this talk I did it, but I did put on my compression socks. I feel like you're getting a lot of sock footage in this video so far. These ones I haven't showed you that actually, they were more PR from Comrade, my compression sock company best friends, but I have found them to be very helpful after run. I think my feet and ankles like aren't used to pounding on pavement. Yeah, don't want to talk your ear off anymore. Just wanted to get that out there.
Was out drinking, looking for the next thing. I couldn't really settle down. Always on the run, I didn't want to slow down. But baby, then you came around. Yeah, you came around.
I do not have to go to jury duty tomorrow.
I promise you that I'll hold on. I know that it gets tough sometimes, so I'm here to remind you, love.
Low-key, I was kind of excited for jury duty, especially because what a perfect time of life. Like, there's never going to be a time in my life where it would have been more convenient to go than now, and I was very curious of how it actually goes. But basically, I got the notice that I was summoned to jury duty, which is my first time ever in my life. I got that notice, I think, the beginning of April, so I was like, okay, that's kind of perfect, especially because then I found out that I was going to be starting my job later than that. At first, I was worried they would overlap, but then it said to call a certain number after 5:30 the day before you were called to report, and it would like let you know if you actually need to be reported or not. And so I called, and it said that only numbers 1 through 150 were needed to report, and I was number 563. So I guess I was not as close as I thought I might be to to having to show up. Sorry, I'm ordering Starbucks real quick. Chicken maple butter and egg sandwich. I feel like that's new. Just gonna go with the trusty spinach feta and egg white wrap though. And I'm gonna get a matcha latte with coconut milk. And I have gift cards, so it feels like it is free. Okie dokie. It's going now. So anyways, what I did today, instead of going to jury duty, I know, so sad, was involve myself with the legal system in a different way. But basically, and I was trying to decide if I was going to tell you this whole story because I didn't know if it would be interesting. And I also feel like I keep ranting in these videos. But basically, the entire time that I worked for my previous employer, 7.5% of every paycheck was held in a little account that they called a retirement account. And right from the get-go, I tried to opt out. I was like, can I please just have the 7.5%? I don't want it held in that account. And they were like, nope, this is required so that we know that you're saving for retirement. And I was like, I'm saving for retirement. Can I please have that 7.5? Because 7.5% on top of taxes, on top, you know, of all of that, just makes it be to where the paychecks I was actually receiving was like 70% of like my gross pay, which is pretty low. And the account that they held it in, the fake retirement account, it grew 0.5% annually, like every year. And that's only because the board voted for 0.5%, because before that it had just been 0%. Like, it wasn't like a retirement account where, okay, they're gonna match, they're gonna put some in, you know, it's growing. No, it was like a savings account that you have no access to, and it only grows 0.5%. So that was annoying, whatever, but I couldn't do anything about it. So the entire time I worked there, there was just money going into that account, money going into that account. And then when I resigned, I was very proactive about asking, like, how do I get access to this account? Because now I have all this money sitting here, and it's like a paycheck and a half worth. So it's a decent amount. I think it's maybe like $2,000, which I would like to have. And each time I was just getting like not really great answers, and they're like, they'll reach out to you so that you know how to opt in to get your money back. Like, it's not like, oh, it gets automatically refunded to you whenever you no longer work there. It's like you have to opt in to get it back. So I was like, okay. 2 weeks could pass after I'm like fully done, like haven't been at work at all. Still haven't heard from anyone. So I call like the main office and I was like, hello, I'd like my money, please. And they were like, you have to wait 4 weeks until you've no longer worked there, and then they'll reach out to you. And I was like, okay. So I waited 2 more weeks, and then I got a letter in the mail, and I was like, you can view your account balance online or request to get a refund on like this website. So I go to that website, I try to set up an account, and they're like, for privacy and like confidentiality and making sure you are who you say you are reasons, you have to get a paper notarized before you can even make an account. I was like, okay, that seems like a lot. I feel like I can prove who I am other ways, but no. So then they mail me a paper that then I just went and got notarized. And then not only did I have to get it notarized, I also have to send in a picture of my photo ID. And this is just to create an online account so that I can view my balance and then request to get a refund. So I imagine once I actually get to the point where I'm requesting to get that money back, there's probably going to be so many more steps in there too. But I know for sure that I will win. No matter how many steps it does, I'm not going to have them keep my money. And I imagine that they must just profit off of people not being able to go through all of these steps to get the money. And I feel annoyed about it. I feel like this is an injustice. So yeah, I didn't necessarily want to spend my morning in Toco Hills at the UPS store getting notarized, but I'll make it a little bit better by using my Starbucks gift card and going to get my little matcha latte. Can you believe it? I feel like I've been struggling to vlog lately because it just seems like less and less is going on in my life other than the notary. But like how the whole talk that I had before, I'm trying to be like, okay, that's great, because I can use all of these feelings to actually be excited to work again. Let's go pick up the little matcha. Let's go pick up my little spinach, egg, feta wrap, and we'll see what the rest of the day looks like.
I know that it gets tough sometimes, so I'm here to remind you, love. The sun will shine on you wherever you go, wherever you go. And when it gets tough, stay strong.
a.bea.s talk about putting vanilla protein powder into orange juice or lemonade as a protein shake, and I was 100,000% influenced. So I've done it. This is my second time now. I'd gotten the vanilla Orgain protein powder before even seeing that, so I was like, oh perfect, because now I already have it. I got orange juice, did it for the first time a couple days ago, and it tastes so good. It's like a dreamsicle. And then I guess if you do lemonade, it'd be like a frozen lemonade that Chick-fil-A has or so. But I went for my longest run today, both time-wise and lengthwise, but distance-wise, I guess that's what that is. And it felt really good. I do have blisters on both feet, so I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of solution for that. I think I went, it was like 38 minutes and 3.2 something miles, so over a 5K. And today makes 8 days since I first ran. Honestly, I'm going a lot more than my training plan is actually calling for me to right now, which I think is okay for now because it's not like I'm going such great distances, but I am going to tone it back in a little bit because for the first couple of weeks, it really was a time moving goal, and it was like a time moving of 30 minutes every time during the week, and then having long runs on Saturday. And I say long run because the first one was 1.5 miles, which was hard when I did it. And then tomorrow will be 2 miles, which is shorter than when I went today, but it's because in the week, it's the 30-minute goal. So if I was needing walking breaks or stuff like that, like the goal is just to move for 30 minutes. Whereas in the future, I think like late May is when it starts being mileage goals within the week, not just duration, if that makes sense. And then I definitely also want to mention the fact that although running is new for me, like within the past 3 years, like I hadn't gone since 2020, and it hurts and I sucked and I like didn't like it in the meantime. It's not necessarily new for me in my lifetime. And so obviously don't compare your progress to anybody else's ever. And I'm definitely not going fast. Like I'm not fast, speedy, super long distance runner or anything. But if you go on your own running journey, obviously it'll look different. And also, even though I hadn't been running, I had been working out. So it wasn't like a full like, oh, couch to 5K type of deal. It was just kind of changing what the fitness was. But that being said, I even mentioned mentioned it last video, so many people in my family run to like great distances, like super distant runners. So I mean, I don't know because I've never like been a true runner before, but I also feel like with running, I'm like more working with my genetics than against them. It's still hard and it's still gonna take obviously a lot of build up, and I'm still definitely gonna be slow. But I feel like if my mom can run 100 miles, I should be able to run like 5 eventually. Multiple 100 miles at different times. 100-mile races like 4 times. So good. I don't know why I would have never thought about like orange juice and vanilla. Getting my protein, getting my vitamin C. It's kind of crazy as we're creeping up on the end of the unemployment era. Today's Friday, so there's officially 10 days until my first day of work. Next week I have a pre-hire appointment to do like drug testing, blood testing, get fitted for like a respirator or a true N95, a couple other things at that appointment. But that's on Wednesday, I believe, maybe Tuesday. But just wanted to check in. I brought my whole camera here because I've been trying to make sure to get that good quality when I can, and I get it all set up, turn it on, just to find out I went through the effort to bring my whole camera, but I didn't put the memory card in the camera. So phone quality for this morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I am going out of my comfort zone. I'm going to meet like new people, like a little group meetup at Piedmont Park. I headed into town this morning. Don't know anybody who's going to be there. I'm going to be meeting people. I feel like it's such a common thing post-grad to like struggle making new friends, especially like if you go to a new city and everything. And now in my head, I beat myself up over it because like, Anna, you've lived here almost 2 years now. Like, you're not necessarily new here anymore. Like in the grand scheme of things, sure. But I don't know. I think I'm really bad at being new friends with people. Like, I love just like already knowing someone and already like feeling comfortable and everything. And obviously like when I start my new job, I'll meet new people. Like that's another way to meet people and everything. But I'm trying to be out of my comfort zone. And so today that means meeting with people I don't know at Piedmont Park. I brought a cute little park bag. Got my blanket, got some books in here because we're doing a little book swap. Got my water bottle because I haven't drinking any water yet today. And then later today, I'm planning on going for a run. I know, big surprise. But today's run is just 2 miles. So looking forward to that. I ended up getting sunburnt, if you can tell. I feel like it's the time of year whenever you look at the weather app and it like doesn't actually mean anything to you, because whenever I was leaving to go to the park, it said 62 and cloudy. So I was wearing leggings and like a light long sleeve shirt. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there at the park hanging out with my new girlies. And I swear it felt like it was 90 and the sun was beating down. So I had like a long line sports bra on under my shirt. So I took that off and I like tied the shirt around my shoulders, but it still was just so much more sun exposure than I was thinking I would have. But it ended up being really fun. Like I said, I enjoy so much more already being good friends with someone than being like surface level getting to know people. But also like you can't always just dive in deep to start with. So like it's good people to know, and I'll try to attend things as we continue to do them. Try to work on that little post-grad friend goal. We made some bookmarks. We did like a book swap and just hung out. The books I ended up coming back with, Echo, which it's a Newbery honor book. It's middle grade though, and it's thick. It just looked kind of interesting, and if nothing else, it's pretty to sit on a shelf. I'm sure I'll read it at some point. And then also The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. So 2 fun blue books that I came back with. The next unemployed vlog that comes maybe will be the last one. It depends on how much happens like in the next 7 days really. So like how many, if it's 1 vlog or 2 vlogs worth. But we're really creeping up on the end here. As always, thanks for sticking around with me in this little era. Subscribe before you go. Thanks again to Spot Luxe Teaks for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you next time.